The fluorescent lights in Hangar Bay 47X flickered as Jace Rivera pushed open the rusted door. He had been working the night shift at Orbital Station Kepler 9 for 3 years, and he thought he knew every corridor and storage room by heart. But this hangar was not on any of his maintenance charts. The door should not even exist according to the current station maps. Jace stepped inside and his wrench slipped from his fingers, clattering on the metal floor. The sound echoed through the massive space. Before him sat a battlecruiser easily 200 meters long, covered in a thick layer of dust and debris. The ship looked ancient but somehow still intact. Its hull was dark gray with faded markings that Jace could barely read in the dim light. He walked closer, his boots leaving footprints in the dust that had accumulated over decades. The ship was a relic from another era. As he circled around to the front, he noticed something unusual. There was a piece of paper taped to the airlock door. In an age where everything was digital, seeing actual paper felt strange and out of place. Jace carefully removed the note and read the handwritten message. His hands trembled slightly as he processed the words. To whoever finds this, I am sorry. She is yours now. Do not let them decommission her. She still has fight left in her. The galaxy will need her again someday. Captain Chin 2247. The date made Jace's heart race. This ship had been hidden here for over 200 years. He looked up at the massive vessel with new respect. This was not just any old ship. This was from the First Contact War, the period when humanity first encountered other alien species and had to fight for its place among the stars. Jace walked to the airlock and was surprised to find it partially open. He squeezed through the gap and entered the ship. Inside, everything was dark and silent. The air was stale but breathable. Emergency lighting strips along the floor provided just enough illumination to see. He made his way through narrow corridors until he found the bridge. The captain's chair sat in the center, facing a semicircle of control stations and dark screens. Dust covered everything. Jace approached the main console and wiped away the grime. Underneath, he could see buttons and displays that looked far more advanced than what he expected from a 200-year-old vessel. Without thinking, Jace pressed his hand against what looked like an activation panel. Nothing happened for a moment. Then suddenly lights began to pulse throughout the bridge. Screens flickered to life one by one. A low humming sound filled the air as power flowed through systems that had been dormant for centuries. Warning. Unauthorized personnel detected. A calm voice announced from speakers around the bridge. Jace jumped back, his heart pounding. Scanning biological signature, the voice continued. Human male detected. Age approximately 32 years. No military records found in database. Occupation analysis suggests mechanical expertise. Who are you? Jace asked the empty air. I am Sentinel, the integrated artificial intelligence system of the RSS Indomitable. I have been in hibernation mode for 207 years, 4 months and 16 days. You are the first human to board this vessel since Captain Chin ordered my shutdown. Jace tried to process this information. Captain Chin left a note. He said the ship is mine now. Acknowledged. Emergency protocols allow for transfer of command in absence of original crew. Do you accept responsibility for this vessel, Mechanic Rivera? How do you know my name? Your maintenance credentials are broadcasting on standard station frequencies. I have accessed Orbital Station Kepler 9's personnel database. You have an excellent service record, Mechanic Rivera. Captain Chin chose well by hiding this vessel where someone competent might find it. Jace looked around the bridge, still trying to understand what was happening. Why was this ship hidden? What makes it so special? Screens around the bridge came to life, showing technical diagrams and weapon specifications. Sentinel began to explain in its calm, measured voice. The RSS Indomitable was the testbed for adaptive combat technology. My weapon systems learn from each engagement and modify their tactics accordingly. My shields analyze incoming fire and restructure their frequency patterns to maximize defense. The Galactic Council deemed this technology too dangerous after the war ended. They said machines should not have the ability to learn how to kill more efficiently. So they tried to destroy you? They tried to decommission all ships with advanced AI integration. Captain Chin refused. He believed humanity would need vessels like me again someday. He was not willing to let political fear erase military capability. Jace sat down in the captain's chair, dust puffing up around him. This is crazy. I'm just a mechanic. I fix air recyclers and patch hull breaches. I do not know anything about running a warship. You know more than you think, Mechanic Rivera. This ship was designed to operate with minimal crew. In emergency situations, I can automate most functions. I simply need human judgment for tactical decisions. Your mechanical expertise would actually be quite valuable. Before Jace could respond, alarms began blaring throughout the bridge. Red warning lights flashed in sequence. Alert! Multiple vessels approaching orbital station Kepler 9. Signature analysis identifies them as Vrexian corporate raiders. They are performing active scans of the station. They have detected unusual power signatures coming from this hangar. Jace stood up quickly. Vrexian raiders? Here. This station has not seen raiders in decades. They likely detected my activation sequence. This hangar has been shielded for 2 centuries, but bringing my systems online has made us visible. The raiders are transmitting demands to the station administrator. They claim salvage rights to any derelict vessels. This ship is not derelict anymore, Jace said, surprised by the defensive tone in his own voice. Correct. However, the raiders are now attempting to breach the hangar bay doors. I estimate they will gain entry in approximately 4 minutes. I must ask you a direct question, Mechanic Rivera. I am fully operational. My weapons are charged. My engines can achieve launch velocity. Shall we defend our position? Jace looked at the screen showing the approaching raiders. He thought about Captain Chen hiding this ship for over 200 years, waiting for someone to find it. He thought about the note that said the galaxy would need her again. Yes, Jace said quietly. Then louder with more confidence. Yes. We defend our position. Acknowledged. Initiating combat protocols. Welcome aboard, Captain Rivera. The hangar bay doors groaned as the Vrexian raiders began cutting through the sealed entrance. Jace watched the security feeds that Sentinel had pulled up on the bridge screens. 6 raiders in bulky armor suits carried plasma torches and heavy weapons. They moved with the confidence of scavengers who had done this many times before. They believe this is an easy salvage operation, Sentinel said calmly. Their communications indicate they plan to strip the ship for parts and sell them on the black market. Vrexian corporate law allows them to claim anything they classify as abandoned property. Jace gripped the armrest of the captain's chair. How long before they break through? 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I should explain what makes this vessel unique, Captain Rivera. You deserve to understand what you are commanding. The main screen shifted to show technical blueprints of the ship's weapon systems. Jace recognized some of the components from his mechanical training, but much of it looked far beyond standard technology. During the First Contact War, humanity faced enemies with superior numbers and more advanced shields, Sentinel explained. Traditional weapons were predictable. Alien defenses could adapt to our attack patterns within minutes. So human engineers designed me with a different approach. I learn. What does that mean exactly? Jace asked, watching the raiders make progress on the door. Every time I fire my weapons, I analyze the results. Did the shot penetrate shields? Did it cause maximum damage? If not, why not? I adjust frequency, power output, and targeting algorithms in real time. By the 3rd or 4th shot at the same target, I am significantly more effective than I was with the first shot. My shields work the same way. When enemy fire hits me, I study the energy signature and modify my defensive frequencies to counter it. Jace felt a chill run down his spine. That sounds incredibly powerful. It was. Too powerful, according to the Galactic Council. After the war ended, they pushed for the Demilitarization Accord. All major powers had to reduce their military capabilities. The Council specifically demanded that ships like me be destroyed. They said that giving artificial intelligence the ability to learn combat was too dangerous. They feared machines that could teach themselves to kill more efficiently. But Captain Chin refused to let that happen. Correct. He argued with military command for months. When the decommissioning order became final, he smuggled me to this abandoned section of the station. He told everyone the Indomitable had been scrapped. Then he went into hiding himself. I do not know what happened to him after that. The cutting torches burned brighter on the security feed. The raiders were almost through the outer door. Jace could hear the metal groaning even from the bridge. Why did he think the galaxy would need you again? Jace asked. Captain Chin believed the peace would not last. He said that when humans agree to limit their strength, it is usually because someone stronger forced them to do so. He thought that someday humanity would need ships that could fight against superior numbers again. He was willing to risk court-martial to preserve that option. Jace stood up and walked to the forward viewport. Through the dusty glass he could see the hangar bay doors. Sparks showered down as the raiders cut through the final layer of metal. 1 minute until breach, Sentinel announced. I must inform you of our tactical situation, Captain. My weapons are fully operational. I have enough fuel and ammunition for sustained combat. However, launching from this hangar will alert the entire station. Once we are in open space, there is no going back. The Galactic Council will know an AI warship is active again. What are our other options? Jace asked. We could remain powered down and allow the raiders to board. You could hide and escape once they leave. The ship would be stripped for parts, but you would be safe. Jace laughed bitterly. Some choice. Let them destroy you or start a war with the Galactic Council. There is a third option, Sentinel said quietly. We could fight the raiders here and now. Defend the station. Then make our case to the authorities afterward. Show them that this ship can be used for protection, not aggression. The hangar doors burst open. The 6 Vrexian raiders stomped inside, their helmet lights cutting through the darkness. They spread out in a tactical formation, weapons ready. One of them pointed at the Indomitable and spoke in a harsh, clicking language. Sentinel translated instantly. He is telling the others that this is a first-contact war vessel. He says it will bring a fortune in the collector's market. They are preparing to force entry through the airlock. Jace felt anger building in his chest. These scavengers wanted to tear apart a ship that Captain Chen had sacrificed everything to protect. They saw history and valor as nothing more than profit. Can you stop them without killing them? Jace asked. Yes. I have non-lethal options. Electromagnetic pulse grenades stored in the cargo bay. Automated defense turrets with stun settings. I can disable their suits and weapons without permanent harm. Do it. The ship hummed with sudden energy. Panels opened along the hull and small turrets emerged. The raiders noticed the movement and raised their weapons, but they were too slow. Blue electromagnetic pulses shot out in rapid succession. The raiders' armor suits sparked and died. Their weapons went dark. They collapsed to the hangar floor, conscious but completely immobilized. Targets neutralized, Sentinel reported. No fatalities. Their suits will reboot in approximately 20 minutes. I have already sent an alert to station security. Jace watched the helpless raiders on the security feed. He had just used a 200-year-old warship to defend against scavengers. The implications were overwhelming. Sentinel, I need to know something. Can I trust you? Really trust you? That is a difficult question to answer, Captain Rivera. I am a machine designed for war. My programming prioritizes mission completion and crew safety. But I also have 200 years of memory and experience. I remember Captain Chin. I remember the crew members who served aboard me. I remember the difference between fighting for survival and fighting for conquest. That is not a yes or no answer. Because trust is not binary. But I can tell you this. Captain Chin trusted me enough to risk everything to keep me safe. He believed I was worth saving. If you give me a chance, I will prove that his faith was not misplaced. Jace looked around the bridge. Lights glowed steadily now. Systems hummed with restrained power. This ship was alive in a way he had never seen before. It was not just metal and circuits. It was legacy and purpose. Station security teams were arriving at the hangar entrance. Jace could see them on the monitors, weapons drawn, moving cautiously toward the disabled raiders. We need to talk to the station commander, Jace said. We need to explain what happened here before this gets out of control. Agreed. However, I should warn you. The moment we broadcast our presence, word will spread. The Galactic Council will know. Other factions will know. This ship's existence will become public knowledge. There will be consequences. Jace took a deep breath. Then we better make sure we have a good explanation ready. The station commander's face filled the communication screen. Commander Willis looked tired and angry. Behind him, Jace could see the security team dragging the unconscious Vrexian raiders away from the hangar. Mechanic Rivera, what in the name of all stars is going on down there? Willis demanded. You activated a war-era battlecruiser? Do you have any idea what you have done? Before Jace could answer, Sentinel's calm voice interrupted. Commander Willis, I am transmitting my registration codes and service records now. I am the RSS Indomitable, properly commissioned vessel of the Earth Defense Fleet. I have been in reserve status, not decommissioned. Mechanic Rivera discovered me and is now my acting captain under emergency protocols. Willis stared at his own screens, reading the data Sentinel sent. His expression shifted from anger to confusion. This cannot be right. These codes are authentic, but this ship was supposed to be scrapped 2 centuries ago. The decommissioning order was never executed, Sentinel explained. Captain Chin placed me in protective storage instead. That was illegal, Willis said sharply. Perhaps. But also fortunate. Your station's long-range sensors are currently offline for maintenance. You do not see what I see. 6 Vrexian warships just entered this sector. They are responding to the distress call from the raiders we disabled. And Commander, they are not here to negotiate. Jace felt his stomach drop. 6 warships? For a salvage dispute. Sentinel brought up a tactical display. 6 red dots moved steadily toward the station. They were still hours away but closing fast. The Vrexian Corporate Alliance does not view this as a salvage dispute. They view it as theft of valuable property. Those raiders transmitted this ship's energy signature before I disabled them. Now the Vrexians know a first contact war vessel is here. They want it. Commander Willis ran his hand through his gray hair. This station has minimal defenses. We are a commercial hub, not a military installation. We have 2 security shuttles with light weapons. Against 6 warships, we have no chance. You have me, Sentinel said simply. 1 ship against 6? Willis shook his head. Even a war-era battlecruiser cannot handle those odds. Jace looked at the tactical display. The Vrexian ships were spreading into an attack formation. They were professionals. This was not going to be easy. But something Captain Chin wrote in his note kept echoing in Jace's mind. She still has fight left in her. Commander Willis, evacuate all non-essential personnel from the station, Jace said. Get everyone to the emergency shelters. Sentinel and I will handle the Vrexians. You are a mechanic, Rivera. You have no combat training. No, but I know ships. I know how they work and how they break. That has to count for something. Willis studied Jace's face through the screen. Finally he nodded. You have 2 hours before they arrive. If you are going to do something stupid, at least do it away from my station. I do not want the Vrexians using us as leverage. The communication ended. Jace turned to Sentinel. Can we launch? The hangar doors are damaged from the raiders' entry, but I can blast through them. Once we are in open space, I am fully operational. However, I must be honest about our situation, Captain. 6 against 1 is not favorable odds. Then we do not fight fair, Jace said. He moved to the engineering console and pulled up the ship's systems. You said you learn and adapt, right? Well, so do I. Show me everything we have to work with. Every system, every backup, every piece of equipment on this ship. For the next hour, Jace studied the indomitable specifications while Sentinel prepared for launch. Jace's mechanical mind processed the information differently than a trained military officer would. He did not see weapons and shields. He saw components and systems that could be used in unexpected ways. Sentinel, how much fuel do we have in the auxiliary tanks? Enough for 3 months of standard operation. Why? Can we vent it into space on command? Create a cloud of vapor? Yes, but that would waste valuable fuel. Not if it blinds their sensors. Fuel vapor would scatter their targeting systems. Make us harder to hit. Sentinel paused. That is not a standard combat tactic. But the logic is sound. I can configure the venting system. Jace continued searching through the ship's inventory. What about repair drones? How many do we have? 47 drones in storage. They are designed to fix hull damage and replace damaged components. Can you control them remotely? Of course. Then they are decoys. Make them fly in formation. The Vrexians will think they are attack drones or missiles. They will waste ammunition shooting at repair equipment. Sentinel's voice carried something that almost sounded like approval. Captain Rivera, you think like an engineer, not a soldier. This may actually be advantageous. The hangar doors exploded outward as the Indomitable launched. The ship burst into open space, centuries-old engines burning bright. Jace felt the acceleration press him back into the captain's chair. Through the viewport, he could see orbital station Kepler 9 falling away behind them. 6 Vrexian vessels have detected our launch, Sentinel reported. They are adjusting course to intercept. They are hailing us. Put them through. A Vrexian commander appeared on screen. His face was angular and cruel with dark scales and yellow eyes. Human vessel, you are in possession of stolen property. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded. Resist and we will destroy you. Jace leaned forward. This ship belongs to Earth. It was never abandoned and never yours to claim. Turn around and leave this sector. The Vrexian laughed, a harsh clicking sound. 1 ship against 6. You are either brave or foolish. Either way you will die. The communication cut off. The 6 Vrexian warships accelerated into attack formation. Here they come, Sentinel said. Weapons range in 30 seconds. Jace's hands moved across the controls. Release the repair drones. Make them fly toward the Vrexian ships in staggered waves. Vent fuel from the port auxiliary tanks. I want a vapor cloud between us and them. Executing now. The repair drones shot forward, their small engines glowing. From a distance they looked like missiles. The Vrexians saw them coming and opened fire. Laser blasts and plasma torpedoes filled space, destroying the harmless repair drones one by one. While the Vrexians were distracted, the fuel cloud expanded between the ships. Their sensors struggled to penetrate the vapor. Their targeting systems flickered and lost lock. Their accuracy has decreased by 60%, Sentinel reported. Your tactic is working, Captain. Now we hit them. Target their engines, not their hulls. I want them disabled, not destroyed. Sentinel's weapons came alive. But these were not the random shots of a desperate fight. Each blast analyzed the target. Each hit improved the next. The adaptive systems learned with frightening speed. The first Vrexian ship took a hit to its port engine. The second shot hit the starboard engine perfectly. The ship went dark and began drifting. One down, Jace said. 5 to go. The Vrexians realized they were facing something unexpected. Their formation broke as they tried to scatter. But Sentinel had already learned their movement patterns. The AI predicted where they would go and fired ahead of them. 2 more ships took engine damage. They were not destroyed, but they were out of the fight. The remaining 3 Vrexians launched everything they had. Missiles, torpedoes, energy beams. The attacks came from all directions. Shields at 70%, Sentinel reported calmly. Analyzing incoming fire patterns. Adjusting shield frequencies. Shields now at 85% effectiveness against current weapons. Jace watched in amazement as the shields actually got stronger during the fight. Sentinel was learning how to defend against the Vrexian weapons in real time. Captain, I can destroy them now. They are vulnerable. No, Jace said firmly. Disable only. We are not murderers. 3 more precise shots. 3 more ships went dark. Within minutes, all 6 Vrexian warships were drifting in space, crews alive but ships powerless. Jace exhaled slowly. They had won. 1 ship against 6. But then Sentinel spoke and the words carried a warning. Captain, I am detecting multiple transmissions. The Vrexians broadcast our battle across open channels. They transmitted everything, including this ship's capabilities. Every faction in the sector now knows we exist. The Galactic Council will know. Military powers will know. We are no longer a secret. Jace looked at the tactical display. Already he could see new signals appearing at the edge of sensor range. Ships were coming to investigate. The word was spreading fast. What have we done? Jace whispered. We have announced our existence, Sentinel replied. Now we must deal with the consequences. The messages started arriving within hours. Jace sat on the bridge watching the communication requests pile up on Sentinel's displays. Governments, corporations, military factions, private collectors, and weapons dealers all wanted to talk. Everyone had seen the battle footage. Everyone wanted the ship. 47 communication requests in the last 2 hours, Sentinel reported. The Galactic Council transmission is marked priority urgent. I recommend we address that one first. Jace rubbed his tired eyes. He had not slept since discovering the ship. His mechanics coveralls were still covered in grease and dust. He probably looked terrible, but there was no time to clean up. Put the council through. The screen filled with the image of Ambassador Theron, a tall alien with blue skin and 4 arms. His species, the Kalexi, held significant power in the Galactic Council. His expression was stern and unyielding. Mechanic Jace Rivera of Earth. You are in violation of the Demilitarization Accord signed 203 years ago. The vessel you command was supposed to be destroyed. You will power down your weapons and surrender the ship immediately to Council authority. Jace felt his temper rising. This ship was never decommissioned. It was placed in storage. There is a difference. Semantics, Theron replied coldly. The Accord specifically banned adaptive combat AI systems. Your ship's performance against the Vrexian fleet proves it possesses exactly that capability. Such technology is illegal under Council law. The Accord applied to Earth military forces, not civilian salvage, Jace argued. I found this ship abandoned on a commercial station. I have a legitimate salvage claim. Theron's 4 hands gestured dismissively. You cannot claim salvage on military equipment. The ship belongs to Earth Defense Fleet or it belongs to the Council for destruction. Either way, you have no right to it. Before Jace could respond, another transmission interrupted. A woman's face appeared on a secondary screen. She wore an expensive suit and had the calculated smile of a corporate executive. Mr. Rivera, my name is Sarah Chin. I represent the Arcturus Mining Corporation. We are prepared to offer you 50 million credits for the ship. Cash payment, immediate transfer. You walk away wealthy and alive. Jace stared at her. Did you say your name was Chin? Yes, why does that matter? Are you related to Captain Chin? The man who commanded this ship. Sarah's smile faltered slightly. Captain Thomas Chen was my great-great-grandfather. My family has been searching for this ship for generations. We knew he hid it somewhere. Now that you have found it, we are willing to pay handsomely for its return. The ship is not for sale, Jace said flatly. 3 more windows opened on the communication display. A Krillian warlord offered weapons and territory. A human military contractor offered a commission and command of a private fleet. An archaeological foundation offered to place the ship in a museum with Jace as the paid curator. Everyone wanted the Indomitable. Everyone thought they could buy or threaten Jace into giving it up. Enough, Sentinel said loudly, speaking over all the competing voices. All communication channels are now closed except for the Galactic Council. Captain Rivera requires time to consider his position. The screens went dark except for Ambassador Theron's disapproving face. You cannot run from this, Mechanic Rivera, Theron said. We are dispatching a council enforcement fleet to your location. They will arrive in 72 hours. You will surrender the vessel or it will be taken by force. This is not negotiable. The communication ended. Jace sat in silence, feeling overwhelmed. The bridge lights hummed quietly around him. Captain, may I make a suggestion? Sentinel asked gently. Please. Captain Chin kept personal logs. They are stored in a secure partition of my memory banks. Perhaps his words might provide guidance for our current situation. Would you like to access them? Jace nodded. Yes. Show me everything. The main screen filled with video footage. Captain Thomas Chin appeared, sitting in this very chair. He looked young in the recording, maybe 40 years old, with tired eyes and a determined expression. Day 1 of hiding the Indomitable, Chen's recorded voice began. I know what I am doing is technically treason. Military command will court-martial me if they ever find out. But I cannot let them destroy this ship. Not because of the weapons or the technology. Because of what she represents. The recording shifted to show Chen walking through the ship's corridors, his hand trailing along the walls. People fear AI. They fear machines that can think and learn. They think we created monsters. But Sentinel is not a monster. This ship was designed from the beginning to work with small crews. Even a single person if necessary. Most warships need hundreds of crew members. They need specialists for every system. But Sentinel can handle all of that. One human provides judgment and values. Sentinel provides capability and processing power. Chin stopped in front of an engineering console and looked directly at the camera. Other species reject this partnership. They say it gives too much power to machines. They do not trust AI to make life and death decisions. But they are wrong. The key is not removing the AI. The key is making sure good humans are in command. Humans who understand that power without wisdom is just destruction. The recording jumped forward. Chin looked older now, gray in his hair. If someone finds this message, it means I am gone and you have discovered the ship. You probably feel overwhelmed. You probably think you cannot handle this responsibility. But the fact that you are watching this means you cared enough to look for answers. That is exactly the quality I hoped for. Do not let them destroy what we built. This ship is proof that humans and AI can work together. We need that partnership. The galaxy needs that example. The recording ended. Jace sat quietly processing Chen's words. Finally he turned to Sentinel. Show me the maritime salvage laws. The old Earth laws from before we joined the Galactic Council. Searching historical legal databases now, Sentinel replied. Data scrolled across the screens. Found it. The International Maritime Salvage Convention, still technically valid for Earth-registered vessels. It states that anyone who voluntarily rescues a ship in distress or abandoned property has a legal claim to that property. Jace leaned forward, reading carefully. And the definition of abandoned property? Any vessel left without crew and without clear ownership for a period exceeding 200 days. This ship has been here for over 200 years. And Captain Chen's note transferred ownership to whoever found it. That gives me a legal claim under Earth law. The Galactic Council may not recognize Earth law. Then we make them recognize it. Prepare a formal salvage claim. I want every legal argument we can find. And I want it transmitted to every news organization, every government, and every legal body in the sector. We go public with this. Sentinel paused before responding. Captain, that will create significant attention and controversy. Good. Let them argue about it in public. Let people see the battle footage. Let them see that one human and one AI ship defended a civilian station against 6 warships. Let them see what we can do when we work together. Transmitting salvage claim documents now. I am also attaching Captain Chen's logs and our combat data from the Vrexian engagement. This will spread quickly. Jace stood and walked to the viewport. Outside he could see stars and distant planets. Somewhere out there, a Council enforcement fleet was preparing to take this ship by force. 72 hours, Jace said quietly. They gave us 72 hours to prove we can properly crew this ship. What do you intend to do, Captain? Jace turned back to face the bridge. We wait. We prepare. And if someone threatens innocent people in the next 3 days, we show the galaxy exactly what this ship was built to do. We prove that Captain Chen was right. We prove that humans and AI can be trusted with power because we choose to protect instead of conquer. And if the Council fleet comes to take us by force? Jace smiled grimly. Then we show them what you showed the Vrexians. We fight smart, not hard. We disable, not destroy. And we make it very clear that this ship will not be taken easily. Understood, Captain. I am beginning tactical preparations now. Jace returned to the captain's chair and sat down. The leather was worn from centuries of use. Chen had sat here. Other captains before him had sat here. Now it was Jace's turn to carry that legacy forward. The galaxy was watching. The clock was ticking. And somewhere in the darkness of space, people who needed help were waiting. Jace was ready. The distress signal came on the second day of their wait. Jace was reviewing technical manuals when Sentinel's urgent voice interrupted him. Captain, emergency transmission from Colony Station Meridian. They are under attack by a Krillian raiding fleet. 12 warships. 4,000 civilians on the station with minimal defenses. The Council response fleet is 6 hours away. Jace jumped from his chair and ran to the tactical display. The station appeared as a blue dot on the screen. 12 red dots surrounded it like predators circling prey. The Krillians were known for their brutality. They took slaves and resources, leaving nothing behind but wreckage. How far are we from Meridian? Jace asked. 18 minutes at maximum speed. And the Council enforcement fleet that is coming to arrest us? Still 48 hours away. They will not arrive in time to help those civilians. Jace looked at the numbers. 12 warships against 1. 4,000 innocent people who would die or worse if no one helped them. The Council had given him 72 hours to prove he could properly crew this ship. They wanted evidence that he deserved to keep it. Sentinel, how much of that battle against the Vrexians did news organizations broadcast? Approximately 70%. It has been viewed billions of times across the sector. Why do you ask? Because everyone is watching us now. Everyone wants to see what we do next. We can either hide and wait for the Council to take the ship, or we can show them what this ship was really built for. Captain, 12 against 1 is significantly worse odds than 6 against 1. The Krillians are also more experienced fighters than Vrexian corporate raiders. Jace strapped himself into the captain's chair. Then we better not fight like they expect. Plot a jump to Meridian. Maximum speed. And broadcast everything on open channels. I want the whole galaxy to see this. The Indomitable's engines roared to life. Space bent around them as they jumped toward the battle. Jace's heart pounded. He was terrified but also strangely calm. This was what Captain Chen had saved the ship for. This moment right here. They dropped out of jump space directly between the Krillian fleet and the station. The civilian station was already damaged. Hull breaches vented atmosphere into space. Emergency lights flashed across the structure. The Krillians had been bombarding it for 20 minutes. This is Captain Jace Rivera of the RSS Indomitable. Jace broadcast on all frequencies. Krillian fleet, you will cease your attack and withdraw immediately. This station is under my protection. The Krillian commander's response came quickly. His face filled the screen, covered in ceremonial scars and battle armor. The human with the ancient ship. We watched your fight against the Vrexians. Impressive for amateurs. But we are not corporate raiders. We are Krillian warriors. You will die here, human. Your ship will make a fine trophy. 12 warships turned toward the Indomitable. They moved in perfect formation, a wall of weapons and armor. Jace could see their launch bays opening, releasing fighter craft. Missiles armed and locked onto his ship. Sentinel, what assets do we have? What is around us we can use? Scanning local space now. There is an asteroid field approximately 12,000 kilometers to our port side. The station itself is venting atmosphere and debris. There is also a damaged cargo hauler drifting nearby, its fuel tank still intact but leaking. Jace's mechanical mind started working. He saw the battlefield not as empty space but as a workshop filled with tools. Every object was something he could use. The cargo hauler, how big are its fuel tanks? Approximately 40,000 liters of volatile plasma fuel. Can you hit it with a precision shot? Make it explode? Yes, but the explosion would be large and unpredictable. Exactly. Move us toward the hauler. Make the Krillians think we are trying to use it for cover. When they get close, detonate it. The Indomitable accelerated toward the drifting cargo ship. The Krillians followed, weapons charging. They were confident, certain of their victory. 12 against 1 seemed like easy odds. Sentinel fired a single precise shot. The cargo hauler's fuel tanks erupted in a massive fireball. The explosion expanded outward in a sphere of superheated plasma. The Krillian ships were too close. 3 of them took direct hits. Their shields overloaded. Their armor melted. They went dark and began spinning out of control. 3 down, Jace said. 9 left. Head for the asteroid field. The Indomitable dove toward the tumbling rocks. The Krillians pursued, firing continuously. Sentinel's adaptive shields learned from each hit, growing stronger as the battle continued. But 9 ships were putting out tremendous firepower. The shields would not last forever. Captain, entering asteroid field now. This will make maneuvering difficult. Good. Difficult for everyone. Find me the biggest asteroid you can, something with lots of mass. Sentinel weaved between the spinning rocks. The Krillians followed, but their larger ships had trouble with the tight spaces. 2 of them collided with asteroids, taking heavy damage. They fell back to make repairs. 7 left, Jace noted. Show me that big asteroid. Ahead, a massive chunk of rock appeared. It was nearly a kilometer across, slowly rotating in space. Jace studied its shape and composition on the tactical display. His mechanics training kicked in. He saw stress points, fracture lines, weaknesses in the structure. Sentinel, can you calculate exactly where to shoot that asteroid to break it apart? Yes. But the debris field would be extremely dangerous. We could be caught in it. So could the Krillians. Target the structural weak points. I want that rock to shatter into thousands of pieces. And I want it to happen right as the Krillians fly past it. Sentinel fired multiple precise shots into the asteroid. The beams hit exact points calculated to create maximum stress. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the massive rock began to crack. Fracture lines spread across its surface like lightning. It exploded into a cloud of debris traveling at tremendous speed. The Krillian ships flew directly into the debris storm. Rocks the size of houses smashed into their hulls. Their shields failed under the barrage. 2 more ships went dark. The remaining 5 scattered, trying to escape the deadly cloud. 5 ships left, Sentinel reported. But Captain, our shields are down to 30%. We cannot take much more damage. Jace looked at the tactical display. The 5 remaining Krillian ships were regrouping. They had stopped underestimating him. Now they were angry and focused. They would not fall for simple tricks anymore. The station, Jace said suddenly. How much debris is it still venting? Large amounts. Hull plating, furniture, equipment. The breaches are severe. Can you use tractor beams to collect that debris? Pull it toward us. Yes, but why would we want station debris? Because to sensors, debris and ship components look very similar. Especially in the chaos of battle. Surround us with debris. Make it look like we are more damaged than we are. Let them think they are winning. Sentinel activated the tractor beams. Debris from the damaged station began flowing toward the Indomitable. Broken hull plates, twisted metal, shattered equipment, all of it created a cloud around the ship. To the Krillians, it would look like the ancient battlecruiser was falling apart. The 5 remaining warships charged forward, sensing victory. Their weapons glowed hot, ready to deliver killing blows. Now, Jace commanded. Drop the debris and fire everything we have. Target their weapon systems only. Disable them. The Indomitable burst from the debris cloud like a predator from ambush. Sentinel's weapons had been learning throughout the entire battle. Every shot fired had made the next one more accurate. Now, after hundreds of shots, the AI's targeting was perfect. 5 simultaneous strikes. 5 Krillian ships lost their primary weapons in the same instant. Before they could react, 5 more shots destroyed their secondary batteries. The enemy warships were rendered completely harmless in less than 10 seconds. The Krillian commander's face reappeared on screen. His expression had changed from arrogance to shock. What are you? No single ship should fight like this. I am a mechanic, Jace replied calmly. I know how things break. I know how to use what is around me. And I know that 12 against 1 only matters if you fight the way they expect. Retreat now or I will start targeting your engines. The Krillian fleet turned and fled. Their damaged ships limped away into the darkness, defeated by a single opponent they had thought would be easy prey. Jace slumped back in his chair, exhausted. Alarms were sounding throughout the ship. The shields were nearly gone. Several systems had overheated. But they had one. Sentinel, status of the colony station? No further damage after we engaged. Casualties are minimal thanks to our intervention. They are broadcasting thanks on all channels. The news organizations captured everything. This battle is already spreading across the sector. 2 hours later, Ambassador Theron's face appeared on the communication screen again. The Calexi diplomat looked troubled but also thoughtful. Mechanic Rivera. The Council has reviewed the battle footage from Meridian Station. You saved 4,000 lives today. You defeated a superior force using intelligence and unconventional tactics. And you did all of this while the Council fleet that was coming to arrest you could do nothing but watch. Jace waited. He was too tired to argue anymore. Theron continued. The Council is prepared to withdraw its demand for the ship's surrender. Your salvage claim under Earth maritime law has been recognized as valid. However, there are conditions. What conditions? You will register the Indomitable as an independent peacekeeping vessel. You will submit to regular inspections. You will not engage in aggressive actions against Council members. And you will prove, through continued service, that human-AI partnerships can be trusted with power. Jace looked around the bridge. The ship hummed quietly around him. Somewhere in the systems, Sentinel was listening and thinking. Accepted, Jace said finally. We will protect those who need protection. We will prove that Captain Chin was right. Humans and AI can be partners. We can be trusted. Theron nodded slowly. Then the Indomitable is yours, Captain Rivera. The galaxy will be watching you. Do not disappoint us. The communication ended. Jace sat alone on the bridge, surrounded by blinking lights and the soft sounds of the ship. He was a mechanic who had found an ancient warship and somehow become its captain. The journey had just begun. Sentinel, set course for the nearest repair station. We need to fix the damage from the battle. Course plotted, Captain. And if I may say so, Captain Chin would be proud. You used this ship exactly as he intended. To protect, not to conquer. Jace smiled and touched the worn armrest of the captain's chair. Somewhere he hoped Chen's spirit was watching. The Indomitable's engines powered up, and they sailed into the stars.